true indeed with you, Holy Circle Gaming. Thank you for rocking with your boy like always. Definitely a privilege and an honor to do as such. Y'all see what we doing. We back at it. Marvel Puzzle Quest. Continuing the series. We're going to go ahead and jump off exactly where we had left off the last time. So let's go ahead and do this first. Let me show you what the boards thought as their lower tier to mid tier top 3 stars of all time. Now, let me show you where I started off with my top tier on the bottom half of the top 3 stars. Now, from that point, we're going to continue from that particular point right there, right where we left off. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Bullseye. Now, it's crazy with Bullseye because I be honest with you, I think Bullseye is a really underrated character, to be honest with you. You know, there's certain things about Bullseye that are super fresh, and there's certain things about Bullseye that's maybe not so much. Let's go ahead and break it down real fast. You know, lethal improvisation. It's cool because you could kind of control characters that throw out projectiles and attack tiles by negating them by using lethal improvisation. Not a bad ability considering you don't have to utilize a lot of purple gems to get it across. Now, granted, is there better ways to utilize your purple gems? Probably, but it's not bad at all. So, for you to kind of go against teams that utilize Wolverine and Daken, or teams that utilize, you know, heavy in on the projectiles, this one could actually negate a lot of that action, and to be able to negate selected, you know, protect, attack, or strike tiles, and be able to do damage in regards to it. So what a lot of teams tend to do is tend to throw a lot of these strike tiles and projectiles out and try to utilize them before you can. This is a quick way to utilize them. So that's okay. I'm not really mad at lethal improvisation at all. Now, Contract Killer, on the other hand, you know, that's basically provided that he downs an opponent. Now, if Bullseye, so if you so happen to get an opponent down, you get the strike tiles of 20, you know, 20 each off the top, and it starts to progress along from there. It's not bad if you pair it with a character like Sam Wilson or somebody who could actually maximize off of it, or if you pair Bullseye with Daken who could also maximize off of this. It's definitely not a bad look. I just think it's here nor there, to be honest with you. Because if you're taking down, you know, characters, it doesn't. There's other characters that do better abilities, even though it's basically a passive. To me, it's kind of a throwaway ability more so than anything else. But really what it comes down to, and really the reason why I put him at 29, is really for deadly precision. And it's not the fact that you could take away 3 tiles or up to 5 tiles as you max them out. Really what it comes down to with Bullseye is when you have the ability to control what you're taking out, you basically have complete board control. You could pick and choose which one of the 5 or which pieces of the 3 or 5 that you could take out. So even as a basic, being able to take out 3 gems, that could be super beneficial to cascade the right way to create your 5 gems, or to create matches with your attack tiles, amongst other things. So there's a lot of things you could do with deadly precision. That's why I put him above a lot of the other characters that are below him, simply because of that ability alone. I think that ability is really underrated, and because it's underrated, I think that there's so many things that you could do with deadly precision alone. Then you kind of combine that lethal improvisation, it makes him a good mid-tier character. Maybe could be a little bit higher, but I kind of like where I have him here at number 29. So that's why I have Bullseye. Let me know what y'all think. Let's go ahead and get to number 28. Mystique sits at number 28 on my list. Now, I know the room had Mystique a lot higher. Now, this is just a personal preference, and I know that Mystique is probably better than 28, to be honest with you, but I don't have good luck with Mystique. And I'm going to tell you why I think that Mystique is kind of a little overrated. or it may not play to a lot of people's play style. Now, let's take in Shapeshift. Shapeshift is pretty cool, but in itself is just relatively okay. You know, get a countdown tile that sits there for 8 turns. For one, that countdown tile could get matched off within 8 turns. So that's kind of the first problem that you run into. And it does steal anytime you make a match of a color. That's kind of cool too, because you're definitely constantly getting a little bit of a feed from colors. Not bad. But for a countdown tile to sit up there for 8, that's a long period of time. But see, Shapeshift is supposed to be matched up with Master Stroke. Now with Master Stroke, if you're shapeshifted, you're able to do an additional damage on top of the damage that you do. Now, that ability is really good when shapeshifted, but on its own, it's kind of an okay average damage ability for 11 black gems. Not bad in its own, but it needs to be shapeshifted. So both of those basically have to work hand in hand with each other. And a lot of times what happens with it is Shapeshift may be on the board and you don't have enough black gems to get off your Master Stroke. Or you have enough not enough to get Master Stroke off and you're not getting no purples for Shapeshift. Or you're getting ready to play it and it gets matched off. Crazy things like that tend to happen. That's what happens to me. That's why I can't rock with Mystique strictly on that alone. And I know that other people play Mystique a lot better than what I do, but that's just me. I don't have good luck with Mystique in itself. Now, Infiltration, to be able to change the board to purple or black, now that ability is super fresh. Now, that's the reason why I know that Mystique is a mid-tier character simply based upon that alone, because that ability, even though it takes 10 blues, to be able to create the board for purple or black, that could help you immensely. Now, let's say you're pairing up Mystique with Iron Fist. Do you know how deadly that could be in tandem with each other? Those two characters alone could run Ruckshop on most teams as a 2-pair tandem. That's a little throwaway for my new school players who don't get down. I don't have Mystique on my squad, but that's the only reason why I would even entertain having Mystique on my squad, just for that type of pairing alone. Because Iron Fist could generate black, Mystique could generate purple or black depending on how they fall. Do you know how much board control, and they both utilize both colors, you know how much board control that you would have off the strength of those two characters alone? And if you throw away, you put in a third character that utilizes black or utilizes purple, let's say you got Scarlet Witch, you could utilize a purple, or you could utilize Cyclops, utilize black, something like that. Anything of that magnitude could really run a team Ruckshop. So that's why it's mid-tier. I just don't believe in Shapeshift and Master Stroke in itself. I do believe in Infiltration. That's the ability you go off of. That's the reason why she sits at number 28 for me. Like I said, I don't think that she's horrible. She could potentially be higher on a lot of boards, and I know she is in accordance to the boards, but for me, she's 28. Let's go ahead and look at who's number 27 on the top 3 stars. Daken sits at number 27 on my top 3 stars. Now, why? I know Daken normally is a lot higher. I know people who love Daken. It's the same reason why I have Mystique at 28. It's the same reason why I have Daken at number 27. Doesn't really play to my play style. Now, the more that I'm kind of running with my B squad, is the more I'm kind of feeling Daken a little bit. And it's not for anything else, because Pheromone Rage, pretty cool. Anyone who makes a green match, get yourself a strike tile. Okay, cool. Not bad here nor there, kind of a throwaway, because you kind of have to pair it with Chemical Reaction to really get a lot of work off of that. Healing and Heat, that's pretty cool too, because Healing and Heat, with the constant ability to kind of keep yourself healthy, that helps, because it kind of helps, especially when you have Daken maxed out, it helps in keeping them alive and stronger. So I'm cool with that too. Chemical Reaction is kind of the one where you're really kind of basing Daken off of. Now, It's not the fact that he does damage against the strike tiles, which is cool in itself, because if you have a couple of characters that you can litter the board with strike tiles, you'll be able to get this ability off with relative ease. 5 blue gems, not a big price to get pretty decent damage. I'm feeling that. The one thing I do like about Chemical Reaction is the way that it could change over with the greens. So pairing him up with like Wolverine, whether it's patch or the standard Wolverine, the 2-star Wolverine, either way it goes, you could do some really good of a juggle between blues to greens, greens back to blue. You could juggle both of those in tandem with each other and could do a lot of good work. And especially if you have somebody like Sam Wilson kind of like facilitating and making those strike tiles stronger, there's a lot of good things that you could do in regards to a pairing of teams. So I like Daken. He just doesn't play to my playstyle, and that's the only real reason why I have him sitting that low. It's not the fact that, you know, Pheromone Range is a horrible ability. It's cool. Healing and Heat, that's good too, because it keeps them alive. Chemical Reaction, because of the amount of greens that you could put on the board, you could pair them with any character that utilizes green and you will be good to go. So I'm cool with Daken, but the reason why he sits at number 27 for me is literally because he just doesn't play to my play style. I'm not a strike tile play style person. I play a different way, and that's just me. But I know a lot of people who have him higher on the list, and I know the boards have him higher on the list, and I'm not even mad at that. This is just me, my personal take on it. But y'all let me know. I may have him right on cue at 27. I could see some people putting him up as high as like 22, 23, somewhere in that bracket, but I don't believe he's like top tier either. So don't get it fooled. Daken is not a top tier character. He is better than his 2-star character because he's basically just a revamped version of it. I just don't think that he's top tier because there's a bunch of other top tier 3-stars that you could definitely rock with. So that's why I have Daken at number 27. Let's go ahead and get into who is number 26 in the top 3 stars. Daredevil. Now with Daredevil, y'all saying like he's really a bottom tier character. According to the room said that he's a bottom tier character. They had him as far down as 32. He's better than 32. Now, it's kind of because of my playstyle, and I understand the pros and cons when it comes to Daredevil. Here's what I like about Daredevil, and here's the reason why I kind of have him a little bit higher up. 1, Radar Sense. Radar Sense is very good because with the ability with Radar Sense, kind of like what you were getting with Bullseye, the ability to be able to take away strike tiles, protect tiles, or attack tiles and transfer them to basic and be able to get damage off of it is basically a revamped version of what you were getting with Bullseye. They're the same thing. Now, granted, it may cost a little bit more, but you're able to take off 1 more than what you would do with Bullseye. So for that alone, I like Radar Sense an awful lot. Billy Club. Now, the cool thing about Billy Club is that it bounces around. The problem I have with Billy Club is it could get matched off from time to time, especially if you're running a team that utilizes a lot of blue, and a lot of characters utilize blue. So for the Billy Club to get matched off, it takes, you know, it could be good and not good. But if you so happen to match it off, you get a portion of those blues back to you, which is very good. So it just kind of depends on what your approach is. If you match it off, get the additional 3 blues off of it, you could throw it right back and play yourself. So that could kind of work to your advantage. You could kind of juggle the Billy Club. So it's kind of like a question mark ability. Some people like it better than, Some people like it worse. I like Billy Club. I think it's good, especially when you're slowing down a character who's ready to whip into you with some pretty high-end damage. You could slow them down for a turn or 2 and figure out what you want to do. But really what it comes down to with Daredevil is really comes down to Ambush. Now, Ambush is straight because it does a lot of damage either way, whether you match it or whether the opponent matches it. And you kind of rather have you match it to kind of get it to bounce around from spot to spot. but if the opponent matches it, it kind of doubles up the damage that it does, which is cool too, because when you have it maxed out, as you see that I have mine currently maxed out, it does a good 5k worth of damage off top. 3,000 damage if you match it. So let's say you match it once and the opponent matches it, that's 8k worth of damage. That's a lot of damage there. Even 3k worth of damage is better than what most people would get off of one ability, and it only costs 8 reds, and that's not bad for a red ability to get 8 reds off and get that ability working, because you could kind of litter the board with those. Now, the only problem that you have with like ambush is that certain instances will be able to negate it. Let's say you use an ability that's like lightning strike that busts up the board, for example. If it busts up ambush, it's gone and you don't get nothing for it. Or let's say another opponent or yourself drops a attack tile or a strike tile or something on the red gems, it could take it away too. So it could kind of get negated. So it's kind of a question mark too. But more often than not, it's on the board for a period of time. And if you're able to generate reds, then you're going to be good to go with ambush. That's the reason why I have it higher, because I believe more so in ambush and Billy Club than I do in a lot of other abilities that are in previous characters that we mentioned before. And that's why I have him sitting at number 26. Let's go ahead and get into who is number 25 on the top 3 stars list. It's Indestructible Hulk. Now, with Indestructible Hulk, there's a lot of good things working with Hulk here. Thunderous Clap, super duper official. 10 greens, does the damage, shakes up the board, so it's a good board shake, and it does damage to the target. The only thing that it does not do is generate AP. I wish it did, because if it generated AP, that would probably propel him to be a mid-tier to a top tier. And it's funny because he's basically almost dead center to what the threads are. And I got him at 25, the threads have him at 25, and that's exactly right. Thunderous Clap is a very good board shake and a very good color scheme that he utilizes as well. The green, red, black scheme is definitely good. There's a lot of good things you could get off of that particular color scheme, and it's better than other characters that utilizes this color scheme too. Now, Smash. Smash is pretty good too, because it does additional damage based upon the greens that you have. Now, if you're utilizing him with the only green character, and you're utilizing some other characters like Rainbow in your deck, that could be very beneficial. My only problem with Smash is that, you're not just giving up red, you're giving up greens too in conjunction with reds, and I don't know if the trade-off is overly that beneficial in regards to, I think it's good, but I don't think it's overly beneficial, because I think that you would really have to ramp up 2 colors as opposed to 1 to make that happen. So you need a character that's able to generate one of those 2 colors for you. This is the reason why a lot of people pair Thor with Hulk. 2-star Thor, 3-star Thor with Hulk, simply because you can get the chance to kind of ramp up the greens a little bit faster. So you can either help out your Smash or help out your Thunderous Clap. But really, the underrated ability is the Anger ability. But Anger is kind of cool, because anytime he takes over 5% health damage, he's able to generate a countdown tile that triggers off pretty fast, that be able to litter the board with green tiles. And that's pretty cool too. Don't get it wrong, because if you're able to kind of remap the board with a bunch of greens, when he's taking damage, you can put him in the front, have him take a little bit of damage, revamp your greens. You can either use your greens yourself with the Hulk, or you have another character that utilizes green to really boost that ability. Like I said, a la Thor, somebody who could really maximize against those greens. Those 2 in tandem could work really, really well. So Anger is a great passive, a little bit OP, because once you start maxing them out, you can really kind of convert a lot of green tiles. And if he's getting hit once and twice in succession, You know, that board could really change on you really, really fast and change to your favor. That's the reason why a lot of people rock with Hulk. He is a mid-tier. And the reason why that he's mid-tier is not because of anything else, just because Thunderous Clap does good, but not enough, and Smash takes away 2 colors. But Anger kind of saves it from being a bottom-tier character. That's the reason why he's sitting at number 25 for me, and I'm pretty sure if you ask the room, that's the same reason why he's sitting at number 25 for the room as well. So, let's go ahead and get to who I think is number 24 in the top 3 stars. She-Hulk. Now, I know. Everybody has She-Hulk like way at the bottom. They got her at number 30. And y'all thinking, why do I have her at number 24? Because I see things a little bit more solidly than what some of the room may think. Now, if you put them ability to ability, I can understand why some people think that She-Hulk is lower tier. But remember when I tell you about preference and playstyle? For me, this is more of a playstyle choice more so than anything else. Now, I told y'all, if I had a chance to see a couple of videos ago, and I paired her with a couple of other characters, the reason why I wanted to show that to you, because I wanted to show you why I had her placed literally at 24. Now, off top, let's talk about Settlement. Settlement is a underrated ability. Opposite of like Radar Strike that you're getting with Daredevil, and opposite of Bullseye's pink ability where it kind of just takes the tiles away and changes them to basic. This actually splits the difference and steals a portion of those strike, attack, or protect tiles and actually gives you a chance to improve them as well. So you get to steal them and improve them. Now here's the thing, you may not take the whole allotment of them, you may be splitting the difference, but you get a chance to get a piece of somebody else's action. So let's say they have some strike tiles or some attack tiles or even some protect tiles that you want. It gives you a chance to get those. Now the only problem that you have is it's random, and you can't control the randomness of how like the D3 team's going to give them to you. But guess what? At the very least, you split the difference. That's a good thing, no matter which way you slice it. I like Settlement, and I put Settlement with a very high regard. Now, currently I have them in a 3-5-5 setup, but I like Settlement a lot. I think you get a lot of good play for those 9 blue gems off of Settlement. Furious Charge. Now, this could get you in and out of trouble. This one could be great, or it could be like the gift and the curse. And the reason why is not because of what it does, it's because of the randomness in which it does it. To be able to, if you have it at max, 6 green gems, and to be able to strip 2 of the team opponents down to 0 in 2 of their colors, that could help you. Because if they're ready to like gear up and drop the gavel on you with their gems, if you're able to like maybe stockpile, maybe get 12 green gems ready to roll, so you could basically take 4 of the 5 columns off. There's not a problem with that to me. I think that is a very underrated ability too. The only problem is that it's a ability against their gems for them not to run a special against you, which is super duper cool, by the way. But I don't know, because it doesn't have any attacking ability, I can understand why people may say that, man, maybe it's not so much. But I like it a lot. I'll be honest with you. This one could get you in and out of trouble when you're playing some PvP action, when you're going against other characters that's really able to ramp up attacks really fast, because even though they could get their abilities off quick, you could kind of slow them down just as fast. So Furious Charge is definitely great. Now, Power of Attorney, it's not great, it's not horrible, but the reason why I personally like it because it's a board shape. And it's a different variation of board shape because it board shakes from the bottom of the board, which is very, very, very cool. Because a lot of times when you're getting a lot of strike tiles, a lot of protect tiles, when they're cascading down, they can only go downward, right? So when they're going towards the bottom of the board for you, Power of Attorney is able to do team damage for one, and it's able to negate a lot of those strike and protect and attack tiles that are cascading down. That's the reason why I say it's underrated. I'm not saying that it's super duper great, but I'm just saying when timed out the right way, it could be extremely beneficial. That's the reason why I have her at number 24, simply because I think that her abilities are better in tandem than other abilities than when you have them in tandem. Like side by side, I like Settlement better than a couple of other abilities. I like Power of Attorney as far as like team damage better than certain other team damages. But it's not like there's other ones that are better and there's other ones that are worse. So they're mid-grade. But Furious Charge is unique, and it could uniquely get you out of trouble. The only problem with it is that it's random. But that's the reason why She-Hulk is sitting at number 24. Something for y'all people to evaluate as y'all going on. So let's go ahead and get into who is number 23 in the top 3 stars list. Captain Marvel sits at number 23 for me. Real quick, I like Photonic Blast a lot. To be able to negate projectiles is super duper essential, and the ability to get damage off of it as well. That is a very great way to utilize 7 red gems. Now, there's not too many better red gem plays that you're going to get for 7, but this is good because when teams are throwing out projectiles and you need to get them out of the way quickly so you can get some board damage or some match damage going, this could definitely give you the match damage help because of the projectiles. If you're able to take away projectiles and keep continuing to get your match damage going, that's going to be super duper essential. And you're able to get it for 7 red gems, that is extremely cool with me. Hypersonic Punch. Underrated because it's crazy because it does 2k worth of damage. That's not bad for 9 black gems. Don't sleep on that. And it's able to stun for 1 turn. So to be able to utilize 9 black gems and get stunned and do 2k worth of damage, y'all can't sleep on that. That's the reason why I have her at number 23. And I didn't understand why the room had her lower, whereas those 2 abilities alone should put her higher. Now, really what it comes down to, even though those are 2 really good abilities, and I know that there's better red abilities and there's better black abilities, and we're going to talk about those when we talk about top tier characters, but Energy Absorption, unique to Captain Marvel, when it's maxed out, to be able to get 5 reds and 3 blacks anytime she takes over 700 damage, that's saying a whole lot, because a lot of times she's at the front. A lot of times she is taking the damage. So what she's able to do is generate reds and generates blacks. That's part of the reason why, if you notice, I paired Captain Marvel with She-Hulk from time to time. Why? Because even though she's generating black and red, the red I could utilize in 2 different ways when she's taking damage, especially if she's taking it from the front. So that's the reason why I stick with Captain Marvel, because even if a team is doing team damage against me and they hit her, cool. Give me 5 reds, give me 3 blacks, cool. I'll utilize that really, really fast. That's the ability that puts her at number 23, is that one there. Photonic Blast you cannot sleep on, because I think it's super important to have that ability too. And Hypersonic Punch. So if you're a new school player and you're looking at what's a good mid-tier 3-star I need to sit on, Captain Marvel, no question, because it's going to give you a lot of the things that you need to kind of progress along. Captain Marvel was one of the first ones that I championed out, and that was the reason why, because I was getting good black production, good red production, and I was able to generate colors. And it's hard to generate colors at times. This one gives you a chance to generate colors, even though you have to take damage in order to do it. But the ability to generate colors is super duper essential, especially when there's other characters that could utilize those as well, namely Cyclops. That's going to be super essential as you're going forward when you're transitioning from a 2-star to a 3-star team, and maybe she sits along for your 3-star team for a period of time. But that's why I have Captain Marvel at number 23 on my top 3-star list. Let's go ahead and get into number 22. Quicksilver sitting at number 22, y'all. Not mad at Quicksilver being number 22. Where the room had him, where I would have him too. Real quick, idle hands, great ability, the ability to swap positions. Now that's super essential because you have control of which two gems that you want to swap. So you can use that to your advantage in any form or fashion. Create your cascade the way that you want to. You can create your 5 matches the way that you want to. And as you go along, if you have some locked tiles, you know, because with the Quicksilver ability with Supersonic and some other ones, you can actually lock the tiles in place. It actually costs less. So this could cost as little as, you know, 4 or 5, you know, in order to get this ability off. So to be able to match and get your 5, you know, your 5 tile cascade working, super essential. And you're getting damage on top of that. You can't be mad at that ability. Idle hands, great ability. Supersonic, y'all know how that works. Anytime there's a blue match is made, locks in team up tiles. That could be good and bad because you're locking in the team up tiles. That's cool. But because they can't get matched off, that could be detrimental, but a lot of times it doesn't. A lot of times they kind of stay put on the board for you, unless you're dealing with somebody, you know, somebody who can negate Quicksilver. 2-star Captain Marvel. She can, because she's able to throw team up tiles and kind of litter the board and mess up what you're trying to do here. But she's probably the only one who can negate Quicksilver, and a lot of times you don't see that too often because you don't see too many teams who could utilize that. Maybe the 3-star Storm, possibly. Kind of a question mark, we'll see. But that's, you know, that's kind of the only characters I could think of that can maybe negate some of what Quicksilver's doing. But to be able to lock them in, and when they go off, if they're 4 more, they damage and they detonate and damage. That's pretty cool too, because once you lock them up, you know, 4 blue matches real fast, lock them up, damage them, not bad. Supersonic, definitely not a bad one. Fist of Fury is pretty cool too because it actually does a lot of damage really fast, and it also locks up tiles too. And locking up the board could be beneficial too. It can hurt you, it can help you. Depends on your playstyle. But I like all 3 abilities coming off of Quicksilver. I think my only bad behind him is that he is a niche character. I don't know how much you would use him or not use him, but shout out to my man Boom Boom Shot Put representing the Holy Circle Gaming, of course. He really likes Quicksilver too, and I will ultimately give him some run at some point. But like I said, for me, the reason why he wasn't on my squad initially, because he's not an easy character to work with. He is a niche character. Take some time to really kind of lock him in, no pun intended, to make him work, you know, work to the best of his ability. And it takes some time, and you really got to kind of max out his covers in order to really get the best out of Quicksilver. But I have him at number 22 because I think that his abilities that he's working with is definitely good. I think he's a fun character. I like the color scheme because he doesn't absorb red or yellow, whereas there's some other characters you can balance him out with the rainbow with. So I like Quicksilver a lot. That's the reason why I have him sitting at number 22. Let's go ahead and get into number 21. Storm sits at number 21. Man, you know what? Storm, dog, opposite of some of the other characters, Storm, all she does is shake, shake, shake. Literally. Lightning strike. 10 green gems, board shake, gives you damage, gives you AP, shakes the board, always helps. And the importance about lightning strike is because of the damage and the AP, anything that she takes out goes right into your team and you can utilize it really fast. Mistress of the Elements, super duper official, destroys the team up tile. Just like I was talking to you a few minutes ago about Quicksilver who needs to team up. To be able to destroy those team up tiles can negate Quicksilver's ability fast. That's the reason why she's number 21 as opposed to number 22. Because you could really kind of flip-flop these two, to be honest with you. But the reason why she's above it, because I think she negates what Quicksilver's trying to do. Mistress of the Elements, destroys the team up tiles, generates team up AP, and does damage per. Not mad at that. Board shake, damage, you know, and gets a AP on top of it. What more can you ask for from an ability that's going to do a board shake? Nothing. You know, Hailstorm, definitely cool. The only problem with Hailstorm is this. If you have Hailstorm, it litters the board with a bunch of attack tiles. And because there's a bunch of attack tiles, a lot of them are going to get matched off pretty fast. But what it does is that it could kind of hold, you know, people from using like their basic tile abilities and stuff, because you have a lot of attack tiles on the board. I like it. It does a lot of damage as you go along. That's the reason why all three of them combined are cool. And because it uses the green, yellow, black abilities, those abilities that are not super duper common in combination, so you could use other characters like an Iron Fist, like a Cyclops, like a Sam Wilson, amongst others, who could kind of balance off of these abilities and really do a lot of good work, with Storm kind of playing the mid-level support, attack and support, kind of playing the hybrid role. That's why I have Storm sitting at number 21, because she does a lot of good things, but mainly she's constantly shaking the board up for you and constantly giving you a chance to kind of cascade and get you more. And especially with the ability to generate AP to get some of your other attacks off, that's super duper essential. That's the reason why Storm is sitting at number 21. Let's go ahead and round out this middle section with who's at number 20. Dr. Doom is at number 20. Real fast. Diabolical plot to be able to plot constantly. Once you get 10 pink gems, you can actually blow up those diabolical gems, and it does damage. As you get that ability cooking, that does an awful lot of damage really, really fast. The only problem is 10 purple gems, excuse me, I'll call them pink, they're purple, I'm sorry. 10 purple gems, that's a lot of purple gems. There's probably a little bit better you could do with those purple gems. Not mad at that at all, but it's definitely worth it if you have this character in play, because of Diabolical Plot, the amount of damage that this could do. Summon demons, to be able to generate the attack tiles that does, it could do a lot. I mean, they could do up to, I think it was like 150 or somewhere in that area. That could do a lot of great damage for you, especially when you're able to get like 6 of them off. Is very, very good. But really what it comes down to is Technopathic Strike. If you're using a character that utilizes black, I know that Dr. Doom utilizes black on its own, but other characters that utilizes black, Technopathic Strike, the ability to transform blue tiles into black tiles, that could get you any amount of black tiles. You could litter the board with black tiles. You could pair him up on Iron Fist amongst other characters that utilize the black tiles. You could pair him up with him. You could pair him up with Captain Marvel. A lot of characters you could pair him up to generate your black tiles. And between that, you could do a lot of great damage with Dr. Doom. That's the reason why he's sitting at number 20. It's really because of disability and the way that he could kind of control the board, basically off of 9 blue gems, turn those around, make them black, control the board with black gems. He could utilize them himself or give them to other characters that could utilize them possibly better. Definitely fire character. You definitely got to have Dr. Doom on your squad. He's still a mid-tier, but he's super duper close from being a top tier character. I think in the next go round, as more and more people start to utilize him, I think he will be a top tier character. I think he'll be a top tier character for me too. Just right now he sits at number 20 because I just think there's a few more characters that do things a slight bit better than what he does. But Dr. Doom at number 20 is very, very good spot. Definitely recommend you have him on your squad. So there you have it, y'all. You know, everything rolling right now. Top 3 stars. This is the mid-tier, 29 through 20. Let me show you what the boards have for their 29 through 20 first. Let me also show you what my 29 through 20 is. How do y'all like them? Y'all like them? Y'all like the way that the list is coming together? You see some of the differences between what I think versus what the room think? Y'all tell me what you think. Tell me if you like my list. Tell me if it's cool. Tell me if it's not cool. Tell me if I have the rankings a little bit wrong. Tell me where I have them right. Y'all let me know what's good. So from there, you know, we're going to go into the top. The next segment is going to be, you know, 19 through 10. We're going to talk about those as well. and go from there. So we're going to talk about the upper half of the top 3 stars, and I'm gonna try to get that to you as soon as I possibly can, but that's what we're gonna talk about next. A lot of good characters sitting at the bottom tier and the mid tier, so you can only imagine what's sitting up there at the top tier. So let me do this, man. Let me go ahead and get up out of here. I'm gonna get y'all another video soon. Y'all know how we get down. Let me get a cover pull real fast for you. Hopefully we get a 5-star. It's not, it's a 4-star. Moon Knight, definitely not a bad one as well. So let me get up out of here, y'all. I definitely appreciate y'all rocking with your boy like always. Y'all know who I am. I'm Mr. True Indeed. You know who I represent. It's Holy Circle Gaming. Like always, is God above everything. Till the next time, family, we do it again soon. Salute.